You wrote a story on our website about Afghan women confronting a future under Taliban regime. What does this mean for the women's rights movement in the country?
Well, in short, it is all up in the air. They're still trying to figure out what they're going to do. I profiled two leading Afghan women's rights activists. One is Mahbouba Seraj. She is a veteran Afghan human rights campaigner. And the other was Sunita Viswanath. She's the co-founder of one of Afghanistan's largest women's organizations. Now, when I tried to reach, local women's rights activists inside Afghanistan, I've been covering this since the 1990s. It was very marked how few women were willing to speak to me. Phones were put off. This is the level of threat that Afghan women's rights activists face. So there are a few courageous women speaking out in public. And what I heard was, security is a big concern. So Sunita Viswanath, whose organization runs domestic violence shelters and other programs for women across Afghanistan, they've been doing it for the past 20 years. She is no stranger to, the society and the security threats. And she told me that this is the grimmest moment in the organization's 20 years on the job. Right now, she is in New York right now, and she has an organization with a staff of around 1,200 women campaigners, and she has whittled it down to a list of 500 women, staffers, including and survivors who are most at risk. These are women who are prominent campaigners. They've spoken out publicly against the Taliban. And she told me that the U.S. government is one of the organization's largest funders, the main funder, and she has not managed to get out these 500 high-risk women. And she says this is a cruel joke. Mahbouba Seraj is staying in Afghanistan. She's staying put in Kabul. When I asked her, are you not afraid? She said that she's 73 years old. The best years of her life are behind her, and she is going to be there for Afghan women. The problem, though, is the Taliban there for Afghan women? And what the Taliban have been saying, as viewers have seen in Catherine Norris-Trent's reporting, is that the Taliban have been preparing for this moment for years. But they have taken Kabul, but they have still not detailed what exactly do they mean by women's rights under an Islamic framework.
Right, and given that there's so much uncertainty, when you talk to these women, what do you think their plans are going forward?
Both women say that they would really like to continue their work in Afghanistan. Mahbouba Seraj says that she can actually provide the kind of services that the Taliban has no experience of. But she admits that, before the Taliban took Kabul, they had control of all these rural areas. And she admits that she was never able to run her programs in Taliban-controlled areas. It is completely inconsistent. They say one thing to the international community, they message a different message to local domestic Afghans, and on the ground, it's completely inconsistent what the Islamist commanders do. So she says that she will adapt her programs if she's given a chance to work. Sunita Viswanath, too, kept telling me that the organization has always respected Afghan cultural and religious, the culture of Afghanistan. They have not done anything un-Islamic. But she is wondering, since one of her major funders is this U.S. government, whether they will be allowed to continue their work. But every single Afghan woman that I spoke to who has been part of the movement, they all have one message. They keep repeating, please do not let Afghanistan disappear. Please keep the focus on Afghanistan so that the international community, or at least the West, does not recognize the Taliban. Because they are absolutely sure that once and if the Taliban gets recognition by the US and its allies, its conduct on the ground will be completely different with what they have promised, and they fear that all hope will be lost.
I think that's a really good place to end. Leila Jacinto from France 24's